Today, we're going to talk about how to help our kids cope with the COVID-19 pandemic and some tips to help keep everyone happy and healthy, which I know in this time is easier said than done. So, first and foremost, you as the parent or guardian have to take care of yourself. You have to be mentally and physically well enough to be able to care for your family. And in order to do that, you're going to need to find ways to relieve stress and stay connected with others. So, to do that, you could exercise regularly, eat healthy foods, get enough sleep, do activities that you enjoy, and most importantly, parent and treat yourself with some grace. If you find yourself a little more edgy, yelling a little more often, getting upset more easily than normal, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. You're under stress, your kids are under stress, and everyone's a little bit on edge. So instead of getting after your kids for every little thing that they do that you don't like, pick your battles and choose to give everyone a little extra grace, a little extra love, and some extra hugs throughout this time. Secondly, stay connected. You don't have to be stuck in your house with no adult interaction. We have video calls. Zoom has been my best friend throughout this time. You could write letters or emails to family and friends that you normally see, or even ones that you don't. Find enjoyable activities that you can do with your family at home, or hobbies that you enjoy and just haven't had time for. And finally, if you need help, get it. If you have medical questions, obviously call your doctor. But if you are in need of just someone to talk to about dealing with your thoughts and emotions at this time, there are crisis hotlines that you can call for free and any time of day and get connected with someone. And those will be listed at the very end in the resource panel if you ever need that information. If you already have a counselor or therapist that you talk to, a lot of them are doing phone consultations. Get connected with the person you're already working with and see if you can talk quickly over the phone. But the most important part of this is to take care of yourself. There's no possible way that you're going to be able to keep your kids calm and happy and healthy if you yourself are not in a happy place. Secondly, you have to talk about it. And I know with young kids, this feels very counterintuitive, but if you avoid the conversation, they'll make up their own stories. And it will probably be worse and more dramatic than the real story. So first and foremost, keep yourself calm before the conversation. If you're having a rough day, don't talk about it that day. Wait until you're in a good place mentally and emotionally. Then ask your kids what they already know. You may be surprised of what they've picked up from conversations on the playground or conversations at dinner, things they've overheard. Ask them what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they have heard, and then assure them that they're safe, assure them that they're okay, acknowledge their feelings. Don't dismiss them or laugh it off. Acknowledge how they feel and that those feelings are valid, and then share the facts in an age-appropriate way. Reassure them that they will be fine. We don't want to share too much, but we also don't want to brush it off and say, you're fine, nothing is going on, because they know that's not true. Even babies can feel and sense stress from their adult caregivers. So we have to acknowledge the fact that something is going on. We can't completely mask that we're all under a little extra stress. So these are some examples of what age-appropriate ways to share might look like, but also in the resource panel, there are a lot of great resources that you can use to help have these conversations with your kids. So let's say your toddler says, "Mommy, why can't I play with her at the park?" You could respond, "We have to take a break from playing with our friends to keep everyone healthy." If a preschooler says, "Mommy, I want to go back to school and see my friends," you could say, "Well, right now there's a sickness going around that makes grandma and grandpa's very sick, and we have to stay home until everyone is healthy to protect them." There's also a great social story made by Conscious Discipline that you can download to go through visually why we have to stay home right now to keep everyone safe. And for older elementary school kids, there is a comic and a recording made by NPR that is wonderful to explain all the details in a very age-appropriate way that you can share with your kids. Obviously, that doesn't mean the conversation is done. You want to keep the conversation open. Let your kids know they can always ask questions. Let your kids know that if you don't know an answer, you'll find out and you'll get back to them. You can't just have this be a one and done thing. As the situation is always changing, the conversation needs to be ongoing and the conversation needs to be changing. And while we're in this time of social distancing and life seems so different, show kids how they're helping. Remind them that by washing their hands and eating well and getting enough sleep, they're helping make a difference. That exercise and keeping distance between themselves and their friends is making a difference. It's helping keep other people healthy. And if that isn't maybe quite enough for your kids, they're still feeling a little lonely, a little sad, a little upset, try doing something kind for someone else. Maybe write letters to those who are in the nursing homes or in the hospital. Leave food on someone's doorstep. Obviously, make sure it's sealed food. Make sure you're careful of what you touch, and make sure you're not ill when you're leaving this food on someone's doorstep. But do something kind for someone else. Call someone who may be lonely. Do something to reach out to someone else and connect. Social distancing doesn't mean that we ignore and avoid each other. It means that we keep physical space between each other, but we don't have to avoid and ignore those around us. We can still reach out and love and help one another during this time. And then create a new normal. Instead of waiting for this to end, just create a new normal, a new routine. Get up and go to bed at the same time. Have a general idea of what the day looks like. Focus on having fun and connection, because in all honesty, when our brains are in this state of stress and arousal, your kids aren't going to be learning a lot of schoolwork anyway, because their brains are stuck in the emotional state. And learning happens when we are in the analyzing area of our brain, and you can't get there if you're showered in emotions. So focus on having fun, connecting with your kids, making sure they feel safe, making sure that they know that they're okay. And learning will happen naturally. Learning happens through play. It's okay to do that. If your school doesn't have online school set up, if you are working from home and you don't have time to homeschool 24/7, that is okay. Just have fun and enjoy the time with your kids. Give them things that they can do around the house so that they feel useful. Help them learn healthy ways to deal with their emotions. They will have extra emotions, just like you and I have extra emotions during this time, so will your kids, and that is okay. That doesn't make them bad. That doesn't mean that they're out to get you or drive you nuts. They're dealing with this stress that they feel. I'm not saying let them have a meltdown and kick and throw things across the room, but if they're feeling upset, instead of yelling back at them, take the time to take a few deep breaths, give your child a hug, and say, you know what, I know you're feeling really scared and anxious right now. I am too, but you're strong and you're safe, and we're going to get through this. Now, how can we fix this problem that you're having with the blocks? Or how can we and let your child see that there are other ways to handle these emotions, or teach them to take deep breaths, teach them to do some calming activities. We'll share some samples of that in the resource page as well. And then reframe your thoughts and theirs. Are you running around thinking, oh, I'm stuck at home, I can't handle this anymore? Or is your thought, I have this gift of time with my family, what should I do to enjoy it the most? Or if you're still working, are you thinking I have to risk my life to go do this job? Or are you thinking I have an opportunity to serve my community and care for my family financially? If we reframe our thoughts, then we aren't bringing that negativity into our homes, and we aren't giving those negative vibes or thoughts and ideas to our kids. And then watch for signs of stress. Even if your child isn't saying, you know what, I'm feeling really stressed, some of these signs may come out. Your preschooler may suddenly be afraid of being alone. They may suddenly start wetting the bed, or not being able to make it to the bathroom, or suddenly have a change in appetite or increased temper tantrums. And to help with that, you just need to be more patient. Provide reassurance, encourage play, allow for short-term changes in sleep arrangements if necessary, plan for calming activities, have a semi-regular routine, and avoid letting them watch things on the news that may scare them. And this is all from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network if you want to find more information. And then with school age and adolescent, obviously the symptoms change a little bit, but a lot of the things that you can do to help are the same. Be patient, tolerant, reassuring. Encourage them to play and stay in touch with friends. Limit media exposure. Address any misinformation. Be gentle yet firm. Participate in family routines. So, as a whole, Stay connected with your kids. Try to enjoy being with your kids. Be patient and tolerant and take breaks when you need it, and treat everyone with a little extra grace. So here are some resources, and I will have this link available so that you can click on, download any of these resources that you need to find out more. If you have any questions, you can always reach out, and I will do my best to help find answers. Best of luck in helping your kids cope with this difficult time. Know that it is a time and it will end. And this is difficult for all of us, but we will get through this.